pews in the Slicer Street Church. And now, it's time for talk.
And you can tell by all the hats and all the glitter what we're going to talk about. Or maybe you haven't guessed, but let me introduce you to a fascinating gentleman. He, of course, is a businessman here in town. He's Mr. Robert Ayers, and he said I could call him Bob, which I will do. Now, sitting there like that, he looks like any other person that you would meet walking down the street. But now, let me tell you, the first time I saw this man, it was hilarious, and I did not recognize. He has possibilities and capabilities and talents that you would not even suspect. Mr. Ayers, I hope I haven't misrepresented you, but you really have a story to tell. This man is a clown. He is a world-class clown. You've probably been accused of being a clown for a long time.
Before I ever put makeup on.
All right, how long have you been working at this clown business?
Well, actually, I worked at a job just like everyone else does in order to survive, and so when I retired, semi-retired, I got into clown work about 3 years ago. And through interest in the Children's Hospital, Shriner Children's Hospital in St. Louis, and through
is this where you would go and do some of your entertaining?
Well, that's where we would go. It was finding out that the children enjoyed it so much. I wanted to be a clown, and one of the clowns that belongs to the Boot Hill Shrine Club, Jerry Hillis, was my inspiration. He was the only clown that they really had that was active. So Jerry and I made up our minds that I was going to get into this thing.
And you got into it.
This is the way I got into it, and I've enjoyed it ever since. And as you grow as a clown, you improve on your makeup and in your costume and so forth.
Now, this man agreed to put clown makeup on before your very eyes and transform this face into a totally different personality. You can do that on camera, right?
Yes, I can, sure.
All right. I see you have a pile of books out here.
If anybody would be interested in clowning, Rosemary, can I call you Rosemary?
Yes. Oh, right.
We have the Clowning in You, and we have Clowning for Children and Clown Wherever You Can, and Just for Laughs. And these are routines, and also explain to you how to put makeup on, what kind of costumes to wear, where you can buy them, shoes, all the information that you really need. And also, these four are put out by one author, and here's another author is How to Be a Complete Clown. And this is information.
Books are helpful.
Oh, it's definitely very helpful, Rosemary. If you don't have books to go by, your guesswork is going to cause you a lot of trouble. You will not ever learn how to put on clown makeup.
I want to see the makeup go on here.
So with this information out of the way,
all right,
we will commence
into the makeup.
We will commence now to go into the makeup.
Okay.
First thing we're going to do, Rosemary, that we'll have to, in order to start putting the makeup on.
That's all right. Let me hook you back up to this thing while you get off your paraphernalia here.
Okay. You want to take off all your jewelry because the makeup has a tendency to turn dark on your skin, not on your skin, but on the makeup. So you want to really remove everything that you can as far as jewelry is concerned. A man would have to be clean shaven and be sure your face is good and clean and all the oils off. Now, in the summertime, I never, ever use baby oil or any kind of cold cream to wipe my face off because I want it to leave as dry as I can. Now, in the wintertime, I do use that to keep my skin from drying out. Now, there's two kinds of makeup. There is a paste in a can and a grease stick, which I use most of the time, and it's a white, clown white. And so we start on with this clown white like this, and we get as much on as we possibly can, and I'm just going to smear this on to kind of brush it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not too neat, I can tell, right?
And Rosemary, you would probably look good like this, just like this, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure I would.
Now, you know you're working with a clown, Rosemary, and I'll probably tell you a lot of things that you won't want to hear. I mean...
Well, that's all right. You go ahead.
And on the eyebrows, we hit this pretty good like this, and you're going to see why we do all this. I do a little bit different.
I catch myself pulling my lips. They're just getting ready for him to put it on, you know.
Now, I think for the purpose, to show all the people how we do this, I'm going to kind of hit the highlights. I won't go all the way down on my neck, where I think should be. Normally you will see no skin, natural skin showing, and that's the idea of a white face. And then you take all your makeup like this, put it on your fingers you're going to be rubbing, put together like this, and the transition begins.
Okay, now this is an oil base.
This is a grease, yes, this is an oil base. It is a grease stick, grease base, however you want to call it.
Boy, you just shut your eyes
And you shut your eyes, and you go into this like this. We're going to get it all smeared around. You're going to see why we have to do it this way, all the cracks and crevices. And now remember,
just rub it in his ears.
Remember, Rosemary, that there is no age limit to clowning. You can be as young as you can be that understand the clowning, or as old as you want to be. Now the idea is, the younger you are, the easier the skin is to work with. When you get a little older, you get a few wrinkles here and there, and it's hard to work with. So I put it on wet, and I do my makeup wet, and in order to keep when you bend your neck like this, it will show. So in order to get rid of that, I wait to the very end to cover that. Now, I feel like I've got all my white on, the way I want it, except for the back of my ears, and a hairline that's going to show. Now,
well, if a little place shows, we're not
really going to worry about today, right?
We're not going to tell on camera.
Now, I will use a little of this here, too.
Now, is this hard to get off?
Yes, it's fairly hard to get. The white is not hard to get off.
Does it come off with soap and water? Or
no, you use...
acetone or coal oil?
Well, hopefully not. Baby oil is the best.
Oh, okay.
Cold cream, baby oil, whichever would suit
Looks
your
like
skin.
you're getting ready to be in one of these Frankenstein movies right at this point. Okay.
Now, this is not your white yet.
Oh, it's not your white?
No. We're just getting the base down. Now, the thinner your makeup is, the better. You see, you think it might be pretty thick, but it isn't. Now, to even this up, it looks very greasy. So what we do, we have to slap this. Now, this is going to sound off a little in their mic, but this is what you got to do.
And what does this do?
This evens all your makeup off.
Oh, I see.
And I'll get that evened up first. Can you tell the difference already? Does it look smoother?
Oh, it really looks I can't say good. For a clown, I guess it does. Oh, yeah, it looks gorgeous.
I look great.
Yeah, you look gorgeous.
Don't you think I look great?
You look gorgeous.
Okay. Now I got to get a little of this off, and I will start making my outlines for the colored paint for my mouth. So we have to start very slowly. I use this, and this is why I stay with a wet white face.
Okay, now all you have right now is a Q-tip, and you're taking it off.
Mm-hmm. I'm taking it off.
Okay.
And those areas that I want to color.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little time to get this off, and you have to be sure that when you're doing this makeup that you look at one side and go to the other side exactly. And after you've done this a few times, the way you design your face and your character will all blend together.
Your face and your character.
Will all blend together.
We're going to see this come out in your character.
That's right.
All right. Okay, we have lots of little paint squiggles wiped off the nose and the horseshoes, and now what happens?
Okay, next thing, Rosemary, I've put a little grease paint on my fingers, and as I said before, I have to get out the wrinkles.
So the wrinkles go.
Wrinkles go, and now what we're going to do, we shortcut a little bit here so that we could kind of move along. I'm going to have to go back now. We're going to set this, and we're going to make it a white.
A white. Okay.
Right.
And then you're going to come back white.
We're going to come back white.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now we made him go out of the room when he put this. Look, there's powder everywhere. Is this important to do?
This is the most important part of clown makeup when it comes to white face rosemary is to get the white set and everything is cleared off. And what we have to do, we'll brush all this off. And Rosemary, you may just get all dusty from all this clown makeup.
Okay.
But now this here is the most important thing. Now, this here will withstand water thrown in the face, the whipped cream pie thrown in your face. You
We're
just
not
take a
planning
spray.
to do any of that here today,
Oh,
are
yes, we are, Rosemary. I'm afraid you're going to be involved in this before it's over with.
All right.
But anyhow,
The white, boy, there are little particles of
Yeah.
white just really floating
this is
everywhere.
the idea. Now, you see, we've dulled it down. It doesn't look greasy. And this is where a lot of clowns make the mistake. They don't get their white set good. And this is the biggest problem.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to do, we're going to cut off here, and
Okay,
we'll go to the
cut,
color.
cut. Right, now the red is going on, and this is also an oil base, right?
Yes, this is an oil base, and you're not getting a milky look because you're not going directly on the top. If you don't get it all off, you will have a milky look. And let's start with this here. I think, Rosemary, it takes a little time to put this on. I can get this face completely on in 45 minutes, so you only got 15 minutes, so let's make a rush job out of this.
All right, make a rush
we'll
job.
just
And we'll go, all right, so he's going to make a rush job out of this, do all the red and everything. Okay. Now, we've watched the red and we watched the blue go on, and we are now using eyeliner to highlight the colors. You have the little hearts below the eyes. That's a great touch. You're looking gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. We're going to put the grin marks.
A grin mark.
Mm-hmm. And we do that on each side.
I hated to tell him he missed his mouth back there with but that's exaggeration for effect, you call that,
That's
right?
right.
Oh, those are lovely.
That's it. Now, Rosemary, what we're going to do is put on glitter. And that takes a little bit of time, so you want to...
Glitter? All right. Okay, yeah.
Cut.
I want to cut and I want to be sure to get you done. Okay. All right. One of the last things, the glitter going all around you. And when does the glitter?
Well, actually, the glitter goes on almost next to the last. The eyelashes go on last, in my case, because that's the kind of clown that I am. And the glitter shows up real good in the sunlight. So the next thing we'll do now is the eyelashes. So you want to...
Okay. Oh, you're going to squeeze that glitter on. Okay, now the glitter, you've got
glitter.
red and you have silver, and you're bringing it right out of the
Right,
package.
there's a package here, and then also there's another kind that we use, which comes in a little jar like this. And I use Q-tips with all of it.
Okay, so the glitter goes on in all these beautiful spots, red, silver, oh my word. Okay, blue glitter, blue eyes. Oh, that's really the end thing also, right?
That's right.
Okay,
Blue
now
eyes.
you like what, one thing?
Well, I like two things, eyelashes and the nose.
All right. And the eyelashes, oh, those are gorgeous. Oh, those are gorgeous. Now, what did you use? Just regular glue? Spirit gum. Spirit gum. All right, doesn't make your eyes water or anything?
No, it does if you get it in there. You have to be so careful with it.
Okay.
So you don't get it in there. And then you got to test it. You got to test your eye level so that you'll have the right eye level.
Okay. You mean so you can still see when
So
your
you
eyes
still
are...
see, and you don't get tangled up in your wig, and which they do sometimes.
tangled up in your wig. Your
Yeah.
eyelashes get hung in your hair. Now
They
that's
sure
the
do.
day. All right, a little bit of gum on the nose,
gum.
spirit gum,
And the nose.
and the nose.
And voila.
Oh, how gorgeous! All right, you have seen the transition from Robert Ayers, businessman, to a beautiful clown. And we did not have time for the full dress regalia, but we're going to do that at a later show. Thank you, Mr. Ayers.
Thank you, Rosemary.
You have been watching Time for Talk. Time for Talk is a community betterment service designed to cooperate with our local community betterment program. Each evening, Monday through Friday at this time, Rosemary interviews local personalities and others who bring items of interest to this community. If you're aware of items of interest, please let us know for possible airing on this program. Time for Talk is brought to you through the cooperation of Kennett Cablevision Incorporated and is produced in the facilities of the Slicer Street Church. The Holy Scriptures come alive. Coming up next, stay tuned.